You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now. Over the course of just 26 games, across less than 2 months of the 2011-12 NBA season, an undrafted Harvard economics graduate rose from obscurity to become the most talked about sports star in the world. Jeremy Lin's irregular route to superstardom began in Northern California. The son of Taiwanese immigrants, he was raised in the Bay Area and was a standout basketball prospect in high school, named first-team All-State and Northern California Player of the Year. But despite his success on the court, no university offered Lin a basketball scholarship. He sent a DVD of his highlights to 8 Ivy League schools, as well as UCLA, Berkeley and Stanford. Only Harvard and Brown were impressed enough to offer him a place on their basketball teams. He chose Harvard and earned entrance on the back of his strong academics. In 4 years at Harvard, despite being the subject of racist taunts from opposing fans and players, Lin was twice voted onto the All-Ivy League first team. In his senior year, he was a finalist for the Bob Cousy Award, the trophy that each year recognises the top point guard in men's collegiate basketball. But after graduating Harvard, with a degree in economics and an impressive basketball resume, Lin was overlooked in the 2010 NBA draft. After an impressive showing for the Dallas Mavericks during Summer League, the off-season showcase for NBA hopefuls and up-and-comers, he received a handful of professional contract offers. And one suitor stood out above the rest. A 2-year deal with the Golden State Warriors booked a Bay Area homecoming and made Lin the NBA's first ever American player of Chinese or Taiwanese descent. Lin made little impact with the Warriors though, and was cut twice the following season, first by Golden State and then by the Houston Rockets, before landing a roster spot on an injury-depleted New York Knicks on the 27th of December 2011. "I thought my career was over," Lin later told ESPN, and then New York happened. The make-or-break moment of Lin's career came when the threadbare Knicks, who'd lost 11 of their last 13 outings, hosted the New Jersey Nets on the 4th of February. The deadline for teams to decide whether to guarantee the contracts of their short-term players was less than a week away, and Lin was on the precipice. He'd been sleeping on the couch of his brother's apartment, and when Lin asked Mike D'Antoni during one practice session whether he should have his car transported to New York from Northern California, the Knicks head coach had suggested that it might not be wise. Lin, it seemed, would not be long for the Big Apple. "My agent had actually called me before the game and said if you don't play well tonight, this will probably be your last game in the NBA," Lin told The Ringer. But any fears that he might be cut for the third time in as many months were soon banished. Coming off the bench, Lin tallied 25 points, 5 rebounds and 7 assists, all career highs, and the Knicks beat the Nets. His performance earned a starting berth for the next game against the Utah Jazz. With Amari Stoudemire absent and the Knicks' other star forward, Carmelo Anthony, injured early on, Lin inspired a 99-88 victory, scoring 28 points and providing 8 assists. After the game, D'Antoni said he intended to ride his new starting point guard's momentum like freaking Secretariat. After seeing off Utah, Lin produced a highlight reel moment en route to a 23-point 10-assist performance in a victory over the Washington Wizards, driving to the basket for a dunk after crossing over the previous season's number 1 draft pick, John Wall. Next up, Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers. "I have no idea what you guys are talking about," Bryant said, when asked about Lin ahead of the game. "Who is this kid?" Well, he soon found out. Lin scored a game-high 38 points, and the Knicks racked up another W. Against the Raptors on Valentine's Day, Lin nailed a game-winning 3 at the buzzer, the chef's kiss at the end of a 27-point showing. When he mustered just 10 points from 6 total shots against the Kings, he provided a career-high 13 assists. And he then eclipsed that high mark 4 days later, scoring 28 points and registering 14 assists as the Knicks bounced back from their first defeat of the Lin era to beat the Mavericks 104-97. A game in which Lin produced another highlight reel moment, shooting a 3-pointer over 7-foot-tall reigning finals MVP Dirk Nowitzki. Lin had captured fans' imagination with his lightning-fast crossover, athleticism as he burst to the rim, and distinctive high-arcing 3-point shot. He'd also proven to be a needle-threading passer and an aggressive defender who averaged a team-best 2.1 steals per 36 minutes. But he wasn't perfect. Perhaps encouraged into over-exuberance by the growing maelstrom of attention, he committed too many turnovers. He also struggled while driving to his weaker left side. But Knicks fans weren't looking for perfection, they were just looking for hope. New York had been starved of basketball success for too long. While the Yankees dominated baseball in the late 90s and the Giants were twice Super Bowl champions in the previous 5 years, the Knicks were mired in mediocrity. Their last NBA championship was in 1973, and they'd made just 2 playoff appearances, both first-round exits in the previous 10 seasons. New York was giddily lost in Linsanity. And Lin was an international sensation too. Replica Lin jerseys were the league's best seller, and NBA viewership in China rose by 39%. He was twice the cover star of Sports Illustrated magazine, and Time magazine listed him as one of the world's most 100 influential people. Ben & Jerry's created a Taste the Linsanity frozen yogurt flavour. And Lin was the subject of a show-opening sketch on Saturday Night Live. No player has created the interest and the frenzy in this short period of time in any sport like Jeremy Lin has, said NBA Commissioner David Stern. D'Antoni, whose pick-and-roll heavy offensive style so suited Lin, resigned in mid-March amid a deteriorating relationship with star player Carmelo Anthony. Later that month, Lin sustained a meniscus tear that would require surgery. After inspiring 16 wins in 26 games, his season was over. The Knicks made the playoffs, but without Lin, they were again dealt a first-round defeat. A restricted free agent at the end of the season, Lin could field contract offers from rival teams, but the Knicks retained the right to match any offer and keep the man the New York Times hailed as the club's most popular player in a decade and a global marketing machine. The Rockets, who'd released Lin just 7 months earlier, offered a 3-year $25 million deal that the Knicks felt that they couldn't equal. But Lin couldn't replicate his New York success in Houston, where he was overshadowed by James Harden. Unremarkable spells with the Lakers, Hornets, Nets and Hawks followed, and Linsanity was rendered a lightning-in-a-bottle moment, never to be repeated. There is a pleasing postscript to Lin's story, though. The former Knick joined the Raptors as a backup midway through the 2018-19 season. Powered by all-star wing Kawhi Leonard, Toronto claimed a first-ever NBA title, upsetting the Golden State Warriors, Lin's hometown team, and the first to have cut him loose. In a remarkable career of highs and lows, Lin, however briefly, attained a level of stardom that few sports people ever experience, while breaking ground for a demographic underrepresented within elite sport. Linsanity may have faded, but Jeremy Lin's NBA legacy endures. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy Tifo, you'll probably also like The Athletic. It has the best team of basketball writers in the world in a personalised experience connecting you with the teams that you care about the most, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As. And you can try it now for free for 30 days.